Okay, welcome back, class. We are going to just briefly touch on Chapter 18 to talk about vaccines. Although there are a lot of very interesting types of lab and clinical tests discussed in this chapter, so you may want to explore this or save it as a resource for your future careers. But we're just going to talk about vaccines. Vaccines are one of those kind of hot topics that there's a lot of misunderstanding about vaccines, how they work, what they do. And as a healthcare provider, you are going to have the job of helping your patients understand what's going on. So we're going to talk about what is going on with vaccines. So variolation, we talked about, is using a living disease to inoculate it into the skin to give a milder cause of the disease so you don't have the full dangers of the full disease. This was practiced in the Far East for a long time until vaccines were developed. Vaccines are a suspensions of organisms or fractions of organisms that are not as dangerous as the disease, but will still induce immunity to the disease. We talked about Edward Jenner that used cowpox, a less dangerous version of a virus, to prevent smallpox. And that name vaccination came from the Latin word for cow. So let's watch this video about it.
One way to gain immunity to a particular disease is to actually contract the disease. However, with many diseases, this could lead to serious illness or even death. Vaccines are a method of inducing immunity without the person contracting the disease. A vaccine is a solution containing a weakened or killed pathogen or parts of the pathogen that's administered, usually through injection, to a healthy person. When a person is vaccinated, the parts of the pathogen that are antigenic will be recognized by the adaptive immune system. B cells with the matching B cell receptor are activated and undergo clonal expansion, ultimately producing antibodies and memory cells. With some viral vaccines, the virus actually replicates inside the host cells and triggers a cell-mediated response, activating cytotoxic and helper T cells and resulting in the production of memory T cells. Should the same pathogen enter the person months or years later, it would be recognized by the memory cells. The memory B cells would become activated rapidly, producing large amounts of antibody. The antibodies attach to the pathogen and initiate destruction of the pathogen by phagocytosis or complement. Should a viral pathogen enter the host cells, memory cytotoxic T cells would recognize that infection and initiate apoptosis of those host cells early in the infection stages. Thus, the person would not become sick.
Okay. So the effects of vaccination is that it will provoke a primary immune response. So you'll be developing antibodies, you'll be developing memory cells without the risk of the full dangerous infection. And then if you do come in contact with the full dangerous infection, you will already be primed to have a rapid and intense secondary response. When most of the population is immune to something, that's called herd immunity. Most diseases are going to need somewhere between 85 and even like 97% of the population to be vaccinated or to be immune before herd immunity is reached. But once herd immunity is reached, there will not be a lot of outbreaks because there won't be a lot of susceptible individuals. And the fewer susceptible individuals there are, the less likely someone can get sick, but also the less likely that they'll interact with each other and be able to transmit the disease. So even if one person got sick, it would be pretty limiting who they could spread it to. Here's a table of CDC-recommended vaccines. I am just giving it to you here as for your information. I'm not going to quiz you about this, but feel free to pause these next few slides to read about what vaccines are available. It also talks about what disease is covered, what type of vaccine. We'll talk about types of vaccines in our next video, who should be getting it, and if you need a booster for it. Some more vaccines: chickenpox, Hep A, Hep B, herpes zoster, HPV, and influenza. and then measles, mumps, polio, rabies, rotavirus, rubella, and smallpox. So why is vaccination often the only feasible way to control many viral diseases? Okay, I'm going to leave you on that thought. I will come back and meet you for our second video about vaccines, where we're going to talk about the different types of vaccines and how those different types of vaccines work.